Hey everybody, it's Nicholas Rogers with the Big Timber. Coming back at you today with another fun and exciting video. Well, it might be fun and exciting for you, but it's a little concerning for me. Essentially what has happened is I put a post up on my YouTube community tab saying, hey, what do you want to see me do in order to make some content for you to enjoy? And turned out the majority of my viewers said, we want to see you hunt coyotes with an AR platform rifle. And that's exactly what I planned on doing. And I plan on doing it with this setup that I have in front of me, which is like a 15-year-old Loki weapon system with an 18-inch Saturn icicle barrel and this beautiful Steiner military 3-12 by 56 scope. And this is like the OG Steiner. It literally says Steiner Germany right there. This was made in Germany before they moved it to Greeley. And I'm like, this would be perfect because I use, where are the bullets? Some Mead Industries 77 grain hollow point boat tails in this rifle. And I'm able to achieve fantastic group sizes, as you'll see here shortly. But before I decided to go out to the range or actually go hunting, I was like, I need to go get this sighted in to make sure that it's sighted in correctly, because as a firearm content creator, I like to shoot a whole bunch of different types of ammo through all of my different firearms, and a lot of the times I don't really care where it's landing on the target. I just want to see what the group sizes are. So luckily, I decided, let me go to the range this morning and let me get this dialed into 0. And, well, I shot my first group of 5. And as you can see, a .8 MOA group with a 5-shot group on an AR platform is not bad at all. That's actually quite fantastic, in my personal humble opinion. Yeah, there might be some platforms out there that are doing it a little bit better, or with a little bit more flair, but realistically for a 15-year-old rig, that's fantastic and definitely within minute of coyote. But I noticed, obviously, it was a good thing for me to go to the range and try to dial this in because I was off. I needed to come down by like 1 3/4 MOA and go to the right by like 3/4 MOA. And anyways, as I'm going to shoot my next group after making the adjustments, I'm noticing as I'm looking through the scope, this looks kind of hazy. This is weird because this is Steiner German glass. I mean, I've got top end Leopolds, I've got top end Vortex, I've got top end Night Force attackers, and this scope has always been probably my favorite glass to look through. And I'm looking at it and going, this is kind of hazy, and I don't understand why. Last time I shot this was about a year ago, so I got out like a lens cleaning cloth, and I cleaned the rear and the front lens, and I look back through the rifle, and I'm like, it's still hazy. Here, have a look. So I've taken the magnification. Let's see if I can get that down. It's hard to see. Maybe I can zoom in. Oops. But there's definitely like a haze. It's tough to see. So I noticed as I started messing around with the parallax adjustment, I'm like thinking maybe the diopter's off. I readjusted the diopter and I actually have marked on the rear diopter where it needs to be for my right eye prescription. And then I started adjusting with the side parallax, and oh man, I noticed the portion of the parallax that attaches to the main tube is coming unseated from the actual scope itself. Have a look. Adjustable parallax is, you can see there's a gap right there. That doesn't look good. So I'm wondering if maybe a seal has been broken and I'm getting a fog on the inside now. So now I'm like, great. It looks like my scope is starting to come apart. I know that a lot of these high-end optics are filled with the nitrogen and they're sealed. And what the nitrogen does is it helps prevent a fog or a haze from creating on the inside when you go from like a damp to a warm or a cold to a hot environment. And I'm wondering now, since this has been sitting in my safe for the past year, if maybe the seal on this broke off. I don't know how long ago. And it started to get regular air in, and that's what's creating the haze. I decide I'm going to go ahead and still make the adjustments for dialing in, you know, this rifle to be on center, and you can see the next 5 shots. A 0.9 MOA group, still sub MOA with 5 shots at 100 yards with an AR platform. This thing is one heck of a shooter. But I'm still running a little concerned now, right? This is definitely shooting dead center where it needs to be. The scope is still tracking correctly, and I can even adjust the parallax, but my concern is the haze that I'm seeing through the scope, and whether or not when I take it into a cold environment, if there's potential for it to create like an internal fog, if the seal on this main tube's actually broken, because my scope never used to be like this. So instead of going out hunting, I've decided at this point I'm going to take my rifle home and I'm going to put it in my garage because it's like 18 degrees outside right now. My garage feels like a deep freezer, and I'm just going to, you know, open up the gun case, flip open the eye caps, you know, the cap covers or whatever you call them, and just let the rifle sit there for a couple of hours so it gets nice and cold, and then I'm going to bring it inside the house and see what happens. All right, so back home in my workshop in my garage, and miraculously this didn't fix itself, so it is freezer temperatures inside my garage right now. So I'm going to just let this sit for a couple hours and then bring it inside and see if it fogs up on the inside, because that means that there was a nitrogen purge. Dang it, that is not seated correctly. So yeah, rifle's now sat in the garage. It's still cold, and it's been in the house now for about 30 minutes for a couple of hours, and I'm like, okay, let's bring it in, see what happens. So I bring it in, immediately look through the optic, it's fine. And I'm like, okay, I need to actually just let it sit in a warmer environment by one of our heat vents, because we are in the middle of Colorado's winter, and I have a built-in humidifier into our furnace system, right? So that's going to be putting out some humidity. So I put it really close to that heat vent, not directly on it, but close enough that it is going to be exposed to warm, moist air. And I let it sit for about a half hour. And sure enough, come back, and this is what I see. All right, so the haze didn't get any worse. It's still there, but it's not worse. So as you can see, there's no more haze on the inside than there was when I was at the shooting range today. It's not like a fog has gotten inside of the main tube, or at least I don't believe there has. But I am a little concerned about, you know, this adjustable parallax dial unseating from the main tube, and I don't know what's going on. I'm going to be reaching out to Steiner, and hopefully, I mean, this is a 15-year-old optic or a scope. Hopefully they will still honor some sort of warranty, especially because now they're actually located here in my state of Colorado, up in Greeley. And so therefore, hopefully I can just send this to them and they can do some sort of repair, because I absolutely love this scope. This has been one of my favorite scopes ever. It was also one of the most expensive scopes that I ever purchased, but I love it, and I hope they can fix it. Or if they can't fix it, if maybe we can negotiate a deal for one of their newer optics that's a similar platform and quality of glass and capabilities. So yeah, if you guys have ever had any sort of experience like this with any of your rifle scopes, please leave a comment below, especially if it's been with the Steiner. If you know what's going on, please let me know. And also, if you want to find out what happens with my experience when I reach out to Steiner, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I will be doing that this week and bringing you a follow-up video here very soon. So, any inputs I greatly appreciate, and until next time, peace.